Columbus, Georgia, this is your City Council. Mayor Teresa Tomlinson. City Manager Isaiah Hughley. Pops Barnes, District 1. Glenn Davis, District 2. Bruce Huff, District 3. Evelyn Turner Pugh, Mayor Pro Tem and District 4. Mike Baker, District 5. Gary Allen, District 6. Mimi Woodson, District 7. Walker Garrett, District 8. Judy Thomas, Post 9 at-large Counselor. Skip Henderson, Post 10 at-large Counselor. Tiny Washington, Clerk of Council. And City Attorney Clifton Fay. Columbus, Georgia, this is your City Council.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the October 3rd meeting of the Columbus City Council. Today is a proclamation and resolution session. Today we get to celebrate what a tremendous community we have. And right now, if you can't see it on the screen, this room is chock full of people. We're going to try to move things along very quickly, but as I look out, it just reminds me of how very grateful we are for all of you all. There's a lot of people here to receive proclamations tonight for all kinds of different service, but there's folks here, of course, related to our military, to our public safety, and as the nation grapples with some very trying and sad times and challenges, frankly, I'm just reminded at how blessed we are to be in Columbus, Georgia, and to have so many folks that have their shoulder to the wheel of making this a great community. I want you to know how grateful I am for you, how grateful this council is for you all. And so I won't get into emotional speeches, but just know that comes from the bottom of our hearts, and we're so glad to see you here this evening. With that, I can't think of a better time for a little bit of prayer, a little bit of invocation. And so we're going to call Chaplain Walter Phillips Jr. up. He is the chaplain at the St. Francis Hospital here, St. Francis Chaplain Services, and ask him to bring an invocation consistent with his faith tradition. Good evening.
Good evening. First to Honorable Mayor and to the council, it is a pleasure and honor to be here, and on behalf of St. Francis Life Point Hospital and the Chaplain Service, we certainly thank you for the opportunity to come and to serve our directors, Mr. Don McKelvey, and our coordinators, Ms. Patricia Ingram. Let us all bow our head in the word of prayer. Our God and our King, our keeper and our maker, we bow this day to say thank you, for in all things you have instructed us to always honor you and to know you're always in charge. You're the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. You're the first and the last and all in between. So, Lord, we said thank you. We ask tonight that you would release the type of wisdom in this room that will bring forth type of resolution, plans, thought process that will work toward your plan and your purpose for this community. Bless all that sit in leadership positions as they go forward. It is not our will, but thine will that must be done, and we trust you. Help us, O Lord, to do all that you would have us to do. And as we pray, we acknowledge that we need you, and you told us that you are a rewarder of them that diligently seek you. We need you. Houston needs you. South Florida needs you. Puerto Rico needs you. Now Las Vegas needs you. And Columbus needs you. God, we ask that you would just move among us, in us, and through us as we acknowledge that we all need you. Help us in every way, and we'll be ever careful and mindful to give you all the praise, the honor, and the glory. And all the people said, amen.
Amen. Chaplain Phillips, thank you so very much. We always need a little prayer, and we most certainly need it today. So thank you for being with us. And now we have a real treat. As they assemble, let me tell you a little bit about what you're going to see. This is Brewer Elementary School. As you can see, we have a legion of students here And they're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I know you all know how that works. Then they're going to lead us in the Georgia state flag, so I hope you all are brushed up on that. And then they want to inspire us with their morning chant and a quick little song. So after the Georgia flag, we can all sit down and just enjoy ourselves. How about that? Why don't you stand and get ready for them to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, Bull Panthers. Please stand for the pledge. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the Georgia pledge. I pledge allegiance to the Georgia flag and to the principles for which it stands, wisdom, justice, and moderation. And now for the moment of silence. Bro, time is 5:35. Have a great day, Panthers. Boys and girls, are you ready for your expectations? My school's expectations are. My school's expectations are. I am safe. I am responsible. I am respectful. I am scholarly.
You got it now? They're coming around to help you. And if not, I've got one there on that podium.
Good evening. My name is Katie Lopez, and I'm the proud assistant principal of Brewer Elementary School. And as you can see, we have a very enthusiastic, but I also want you to know that this is a very smart bunch of students, and then they're very talented as well. Mayor Tomlinson, City Council members, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. As you can tell, our students were very excited, and thank you for making them feel so welcome. They're very excited to have some signatures from some of you, and that means the world to us. Thank you again for having us. I want a special thank you to Councilman Huff, who is always anytime we need him, he is always there. I also wanted to tell you that Dr. Moore was unable to be here because she has an illness in the family which kept her away from school and unfortunately here, and she wanted you to know that. But thank you so much, and I also want to thank our wonderful parents who are here tonight. Can you stand up very quickly and be recognized? We appreciate their support, and also our wonderful choral director, Mr. Roger Redden, who's going to lead us in song. Thank you again.
And we're going to allow each of the students to say their name and what grade they're in.
My name is Charles Gibbs, and I'm in 5th grade.
Oh,
My name is
make sure you
Gilberto,
turn
and
around
I'm in
this way.
3rd grade.
Wait, young man, turn around this way and say it so we can see your face on TV. So go ahead, say it again.
My name is Osiris, and I'm in 4th grade.
Okay.
My name is Elvis, and I'm in 4th grade.
My name is Devontae Martin. I'm in 4th grade.
My name is Cassandra Pearson, and I'm in 3rd grade. My name is Malaysia, and I'm in 3rd grade.
My name is CJ Brewer, and I'm in 3rd grade.
My name is Casey Ella, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Naquilla Lewis, and I'm in 5th grade. My name is Maja Allen, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Jakiri Doja, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Anaya Sutton, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Ashanti Grant, and I'm in 4th grade.
My name is Jalea Cunningham, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Santa Watson, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Maddie Beasley, I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Ayana Jackson, and I am in the 5th grade.
My name is Vanessa, and I'm in 4th grade.
My name is Madison Main, and I'm in 4th grade. My name is Layla Clance, and I'm in 4th grade.
My name is Anastasia Williams, in 4th grade.
My name is Mahogany Baker, and I'm in the 3rd grade.
My name is Ayana Matthews, and I'm in 3rd grade.
My name is Jamarkian Lee, and I'm in 5th grade. My name is Devin Rose, and I'm in the 4th grade.
My name is Destiny Brown, and I'm in 3rd grade. My name is Zanaya Rice, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Mahogany Wills, and I'm in 4th grade.
My name is Jaquela Barry, I'm in 4th grade.
My name is Ayana Passmore, I'm in the 4th grade.
My name is Essence Bryant, I'm in 4th grade.
My name is Harmony Burks, and I'm in 4th grade.
My name is Oriana Sutz, and I'm in 4th grade.
My name is LaCoria Thomas, and I'm in 3rd grade.
My name is Annalie Holden, and I'm in 3rd grade.
Did we get everybody? Did we get everybody? All right. Who's going to do a song?
Oh, that's what I picked, okay.
And the song we're going to perform is called I Like School.
Right. Very appropriate.
Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
Now, what I would like, normally we have this, they come up and do the Pledge of Allegiance. They did the national, they did the state, and they gave us a song. Because we have all these parents, we only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 people. Why can't we get them up here? Somebody take a picture so the parents and them can have it.
All right. You got to bring them all up here?
That's what I'm saying, right here. Yeah, let's go around. Come on.
Right up here. Perfect.
Be still, son. All right.
Get the butt tape.
Okay, good. All right, good. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Bye-bye. Very good. All right, well, if y'all will make some room for them, they've got to get on home to study. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you. Great job. Bye-bye. Good to see you. We had a room full. Room full. They did a song. They had 2 pledges. They had a chant. There's something else. All right, for all of you all standing, we now have a lot of seats open, so please come up. We've got some here in the front row, so you don't have to lean against the wall. Come and take a seat and get comfortable. Well, that was great. That's our most precious thing right there. So that's what we do it for. They are something else. I'll tell you, as they're still leaving, I hope you all will come up and take these seats here that are now open. Several of them asked me for my autograph, which was cute. And then several more came up and gave me their autograph, which I thought was even better. So I'm going to be saving those. All right, well, we've got a very full agenda. As I said, we've got a lot of people to be recognized, a lot of relationships, and chief among them is one of our most special relationships, which is celebrating 100 years of partnership in Columbus. And so we want to recognize our Columbus Fort Benning Centennial, and we have with us the Commanding General Eric Wesley and the Garrison Commander Colonel Cox with us. Welcome, gentlemen. Please come forward. And we have Counselor Mike Baker is going to read the proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. This is an honor and a pleasure to have you with us tonight. And it's certainly my honor to read this proclamation into the record. And after I do that, if you would introduce any guests you have and tell us a little bit about the Centennial. So it's my pleasure to read the proclamation. Reads as follows. Whereas on April 4th, 1917, the day after President Woodrow Wilson asked Congress for a declaration of war against Germany, the Columbus Chamber of Commerce began in earnest to have an army camp established near Columbus with at least a brigade of troops. And whereas an encampment committee of the Columbus Chamber of Commerce voyaged to Washington, D.C. to promote Columbus as a site for one of the new camps, but met with little success. So several members of the Columbus Chamber's Encampment Committee remained in the nation's capital to speak with War Department officials and members of Congress until February of 1918, when they returned home, saddened by what seemed to be futile efforts. And whereas unbeknownst to them, on October 21st, 1917, General John J. Pershing, commander of the American Expeditionary Force in France, sent a cablegram to the War Department asking for better trained soldiers. So the War Department created a special board headed by Colonel Henry E. Ames, commander of the School of Musketry at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, to select a site to train soldiers on infantry skills and tactics. And whereas when Columbus Chamber of Commerce officials learned that a school focused on training infantry skills and tactics would be created, a full-time representative was sent to Washington, D.C. to promote Columbus's cause. And on August 17, 1918, the representative telegraphed home that the General Staff of the U.S. Army had approved the recommendation of the investigating board and that the Infantry School of Arms would be located near Columbus. And whereas Major J. Paul Jones was assigned as construction quartermaster for the project, and although no funds had yet been allocated and nothing had been formally approved by the Secretary of War, Major Jones received word on September 20th, 1918, that the Infantry School of Arms staff and troops from Fort Sill were being transferred and would arrive on October 1st, 1918. And whereas with great haste and with the willing help of the Columbus Chamber of Commerce, Colonel Ames and Major Jones found an 84-acre farm belonging to Mr. Alex Reed on Macon Road, which was selected due to its close proximity to downtown Columbus, city water supply, and streetcar service. And the first detachment of the Infantry School of Arms arrived on October 7, 1918, and on October 19, 1918, the new facility was formally christened Camp Benning. And whereas these visionary citizens, Mr. John Bateman, Mr. Rhodes Brown, Mr. John Ralston Cargill, Mr. Lucius H. Chappell, Mr. Henry B. Crawford, Mr. J. Homer Diamond, Mr. Robert Ernest Dismukes, Mr. W. J. Fielder, Mr. Reynolds Flournoy, Mr. Frank U. Gerard, Mr. Ralph Curtis Jordan, Mr. Albert Kervin, Mr. A.F. Coons, Mr. Frank G. Lumpkin, Mr. Leighton W. McPherson, Mr. H.R. McClatchy, Mr. T.T. Miller, Mr. Marshall Morton, Mr. Roger M. Page, Mr. T.G. Reeves, Mr. Walter A. Richards, and Mr. H.C. Smith displayed the foresight, vision, and leadership to fight to establish Camp Benning near Columbus, Georgia. Now, therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, does hereby proclaim Thursday, October 12, 2017, as the starting event celebrating our year-long recognition of Columbus Fort Benning Centennial Year. Thank you. Congratulations.
Well, General, as you can see, this community swells with pride for the relationship and the partnership we continue to have 100 years later, and we're so glad to have you with us. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it very much. Mr. Baker, thank you for reading through that. To the council, to the mayor, Mr. Hughley, thank you for this proclamation, because if I could briefly, what it does is it sets in motion a year-long celebration of this centennial relationship that we have with Columbus and Fort Benning. And I'll tell you, it's not so much a celebration of Fort Benning as much as it is a celebration of the wisdom and leadership of this body, that of the chamber, and that of the leaders here in Columbus. Because if you listen through all of that, this is a unique experiment here between Fort Benning and Columbus, because most installations, army posts around the nation, as I've said before, were originated because of some tactical requirement of a battle from a long time past. Fort Benning is different. It's here because of the wisdom of the people of Columbus, who realized the world was changing in 1917 and they wanted to be a part of it and lobbied Washington, and we are here now because of you. And the importance of that is that decisions you make in this body can have huge impacts across the world. And across the world you did impact because you've been raising leaders in your community here that went around the world to defend our nation, and any leader of notoriety in any war over the last century was raised right here at Fort Benning and Columbus. So Columbus and this body, by virtue of that decision in 1918, has touched the world. So Mayor, thank you very much for your support. We thank you for the community. We thank you for the leadership of this body, and God bless each and every one of you.
Well, thank you so much. Please come around. Thank you so much. It's going to be a great year. Well, I told you it was going to be a special evening, so we kicked it off just right. Again, General Wesley and Colonel Cox, thank you so much for being here. Great partners. Every single person here is important to our community and has done outstanding work. I was just notified, however, that we have on-duty officers with us right now, and so we want them to get back to their roles of protecting property, saving lives, and serving us here in Columbus. And so we're going to move them up in the agenda. I'm going to ask for Columbus Police Department Chief Ricky Boren, Sheriff Donna Tompkins, Fire and EMS Chief Jeff Meyer. We have Chief Robert Futrell, Marshal Greg Countryman, and Riley Land. If you all would please come forward. I know we've got a slew of you, but everybody come on up because everybody had a hand in this. And we want to make sure you're all recognized. And we've got Counselor Baker, if you could dig through your stack and.
Got it.
Great. We're going to have Counselor Baker read the proclamation. We got a few, what are the sheriff's deputies doing back there? Come on up here. We had, as people are coming, and the marshal's office, I see them back there too. You know, everybody did have a hand in this. I know at one point we had folks that we were trying to work shifts and juggle people who were coming in and off shifts, and all I had to do was call Sheriff Donna Tompkins and say, you know, we need some folks. And she said, hey, Major J.D. Hawk already called me, they're on their way. So that's the kind of partnership we have in Columbus, Georgia, and that's how very fortunate we are. So I think we've got just about everybody up here. And with that,
Yes,
I don't know if they can see you.
it's all right.
But,
Thanks for coming. It's about them. I mean, we've had all the counselors had just had overwhelming comments about the job our public safety people did during the storm. We're just so eternally grateful to all of you for the jobs you did, and the citizens are too. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart for each and every one of you and what you did. And it's my pleasure to read the proclamation. Whereas all public safety departments throughout Columbus Consolidated Government are committed to the protection of life and property, the prevention of crime, the enforcement of laws and regulations, and the preservation of constitutional rights. And whereas Hurricane Irma created a state of emergency and put the lives and property of all citizens in the city of Columbus in danger. And whereas the Emergency Management Agency, led by Riley Land and Chief Jeff Meyer, and the Homeland Security Agency, led by Assistant Chief Robert Futrell, coordinated the city's response to Hurricane Irma and its expected effects. And whereas Chief Jeff Meyer, Assistant Chief Futrell, and Deputy Director Riley Land of the Columbus Fire and EMS, along with their staff, rotated shifts and served countless hours at the evacuation shelters around Columbus, Georgia, to provide medical assistance to all individuals at these locations. And whereas Chief Ricky Boren of Columbus Police Department, Sheriff Donna Tompkins of the Columbus Sheriff's Office, Marshal Gregory Countryman of the Columbus Marshal's Office, and their staff rotated shifts and served countless hours at both evacuation shelter and medical centers around Columbus, Georgia, to provide safety and security to all individuals at these locations. Whereas these organizations went above and beyond the call of duty to provide the citizens of Columbus and also the evacuees from surrounding areas. And whereas all citizens of Columbus, Georgia owe their gratitude to public safety personnel who put their lives on the line every day for our safety and security and who stepped up particularly in the face of Hurricane Irma. Now therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, does hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017 as Columbus Public Safety Day. Thank you guys for a job well done.
Well, I know we've got a crowd of folks, and it may be a little awkward, but we've pulled you together, and I want you guys to say a few words. I know we've got Chief Meyer there and Riley Land who kind of help hem us all up when these natural disasters come about. And I want them to come forward and say a few things, and then the Chief and Captain Lockhart and of course the Sheriff, y'all want to say a few words. Riley?
I'll be quick. Thank y'all. I'm standing here. You're reading the proclamation, but if you look, these aren't all the people that were involved. There were hundreds. Every city employee that had a hand in it deserves attention and thanks, just like just like these folks. But I look around, I see so many folks that I know and are friends of mine, and it's great to see it. And thanks for the appreciation.
Well, thank you, and thank you for herding the cats. At least, I don't want to say that because they're not cats, but for herding all the professionals trained and ready to go and just needing a little bit of direction. You guys do an excellent job. Chief Meyer, you want to say hello?
Just thank you so much, and Riley hit the nail on the head. Everybody in the city came together. Thank goodness we didn't have what the weather folks predicted for Columbus, but Columbus was well prepared in the event that it had hit us hard. So thank you again, and thanks to all these people, not only in public safety, but throughout the city government and citizens that stepped forward to help out. So thank you.
It's tremendous. And as Chief Boren makes his way to the microphone, let me just say, these guys, they plan for this stuff all the time. Not just natural disasters, but things I'm not even going to mention. We run tabletop exercises. We run drills. We look through it and imagine what the possibilities and unforeseen events might be. And so when these things come down the pike, we're about as prepared as you can be, and it's because these guys are true professionals. Chief.
Mayor, thank you. City Council, City Manager, thank you for the recognition. I want you to know that every man and woman in the Columbus Police Department played a role in this from our agency. They were on the street. They worked around the clock in the protection of our citizens and taking care of any unforeseen incident that could have taken place during this time, and they worked for 3 days around the clock until this was taken care of. Major Hawk with a group at the Civic Center taking care of the individuals that came here from other cities and was housed at the Civic Center to make sure that they were protected during this time, and we appreciate the recognition here tonight. Thank you.
Sure.
I can only echo the same sentiment. We certainly do appreciate your recognition, and I certainly, as my first experience with this, appreciate the great cooperation between the agencies. And Columbus is very fortunate. We've got great public safety.
Yes, we do. Captain Lockhart.
On behalf of Marshall Gray Countryman, he couldn't be here tonight, but he wanted to make sure I express our thanks for this recognition, but all the men and women of the Muscogee County Marshal's Office, we stood ready to help out in any way we could. And the surprising thing, I went into a Dunkin' Donut to get some coffee one day, and these people, they came from Eufaula to here, and they said they had not been treated as good as this anywhere else. And they were just so thankful that all of the people they ran into in Columbus, not just law enforcement or public safety in general, it was about the way the people of Columbus treated them, welcomed them in, and took care of them. So thank you all to everybody that came together as a team. We needed it. A lot of people that are not from Columbus needed it, and we just stepped up and did what we needed to do. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. We all come around. I've got a whole bunch of proclamations here, and we want to shake your hands. So please come on around and let us shake your hands. Hey, you bet, absolutely. Hey, oh, thank you so much. Hey, thank you. Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do. Hey, thank you so much. You bet. Hey, thank you. Here you go. I've got a couple here. I don't know how many who's supposed to get, but I'll give you 2. And if I run out, we'll have to. There you go. Thank you so much. Oh. Thank you. Here you go. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. Jeff? Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, I'm going to get you one. I'm not sure how many. I might have given Donna Tompkins 2. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, thank you. Yeah, you bet. I think I got one for you, and then one for Chief. I may have you one shorter, but we'll get it to you. Okay. Hey, you bet, you bet. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. All right, Columbus strong. Thank you so much. Thank you. You gotta buy me a biscuit for getting you up and out. Thank you, JD, always. Hey, thank you. All right. We got some elbow room now. Well, as I said, we got a whole lot of people to recognize and thank, and the next is a tremendous organization. We're so fortunate to partner with the American Red Cross. I want to ask Adelaide Kirk and her group to come on up, if you would. Hopefully Alex and Alicia, Michelle are here, and we got Counselor Barnes who's going to read the proclamation. Good evening, everybody.
Mayor and council and guests, it's my extreme pleasure to read this proclamation. It reads thusly. It says, whereas the American Red Cross is a humanitarian organization dealing with an estimated 70,000 disasters each year throughout all 50 states and over 200 different countries worldwide. And whereas this organization is led by volunteers and guided by its congressional charter and the fundamental principle of the International Red Cross movement, which provides relief to victims of disasters and helps people prevent, prepare for, and respond to emergencies. And whereas Adelaide Kirk, Executive Director, Mr. Alex Balcom, Disaster Program Manager, and other members of the Columbus, Georgia branch of the American Red Cross displayed invaluable expertise operating the largest evacuation shelter in the state of Georgia, housing and caring for evacuees of Hurricane Irma from September 8, 2017. And whereas the American Red Cross of Columbus, Georgia oversaw the cooperation of more than 100 public volunteers and community partners at the Columbus Civic Center and Frank Chester Recreation Center shelters and cared for over 600 evacuees from both the state of Florida and from regions around Georgia. And whereas the American Red Cross of Columbus, Georgia took in thousands of donated items to aid in the care and comfort of said evacuees and plans to utilize all unused items in the future to comfort other disaster survivors. And whereas all members of our community and the countless others who have received aid from the American Red Cross are encouraged to join city officials in recognizing and appreciating the enormous contribution made for the well-being of our citizens and hurricane evacuees by this outstanding organization and its outstanding volunteers. Now, therefore, the Honorable Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, does hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017 as American Red Cross Day in the city of Columbus, Georgia.
Adelaide, thank you, along with all the others that we'll be recognizing today. It was wonderful to see you and your folks there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Well, first of all, it's an honor to serve the community, and I'd like to introduce the folks that are with me. This is Alex Balcom, our Disaster Program Manager. He actually led our sheltering efforts here. Alicia Studs, who is our Senior Volunteer Specialist, so that's a lot of the coordination comes from there. And this is Andrea Smith, who is our Community Volunteer Leader, who is here representing all of the hundreds of volunteers that we worked with over the course of time. I just want to say that most people have echoed it, even with the public safety, but that a disaster, a crisis, a tragedy, whatever you want to call what we face sometimes, like Irma, is bigger than any one organization can ever face alone. And I think I was overwhelmed with a sense of pride, with the compassion that was outpoured from the community and the cooperation that without falter happen among, city agencies and private entities as well, and other nonprofits. It takes all of us to face a situation like that, and we're just proud to be one part of that and hopefully help to organize a little bit of the chaos sometimes. So thank you for working with us so well, and we're honored to be here. We're here 365 days a year for those other things that are tragedies like home fires and that kind of thing as well. So Irma was hopefully the one-off that won't happen again for a really long time. So thank you.
Hopefully. Thank you all so much.
Mayor? I'd just like to say, I was at the Civic Center. Alex, did you have a motorcycle, skateboard, limousine? You were all over the place. You were between the Civic Center going to the Frank Chester. I'd see you, and all I would feel was a draft of you exiting and the rush of air, you coming back again. I don't know how you did it, managing all that, but you all did a marvelous, marvelous job. And you know what, to see that many people displaced. But as I walked among them, they got the best of care, had people come and entertain. You all checked on the individuals who need help. It was just a marvelous operation. And then what is so astounding here is for this community is just awesome. For us to be wanting for blankets and pillowcases and all one day, and then the next day, as Alex knows, he was telling everybody, we got to find another storage place for all this that's coming in. That shows you the character of this community and how this community closes ranks.
Absolutely.
When they see an emergency. And you want to know something? I was in the military and I've been all over, and I've told everybody this countless times. We, American citizens, pull together when there is a crisis, and we make it happen. One day to be in need, and the next day for this community to come and give you. But I just wanted to say, you need to give me your secret, brother. I don't know how you were getting around so fast.
Thank you. So true. Well, thank you all so much. And Alex, you did a fabulous job. All of you all, thank you so very much. And come around, we'd like to shake your hand and congratulate you.
Marvelous job, guys. Marvelous. Marvelous job.
Thank you, Adelaide, so much.
Marvelous job. No, thank you. No,
So much.
that was
I appreciate you. Alex, tremendous. Thank you so much. And next we have our partners at the Salvation Army. We want to ask Captain Josh Henson and Reverend Michael Davis to come forward, and if they have others with them, certainly. Welcome, gentlemen. So glad to have you here. And we're going to have Councilor Barnes read this proclamation as well.
Yes, and it's my pleasure, Mayor and Council and guests, to read this proclamation as well. And it says, whereas the Salvation Army is an evangelical part of the Universal Christian Church, preaching the gospel while meeting human needs and serving the lost, the vulnerable, the needy, the poor, the hurting, the helpless, and the hopeless. And whereas this organization is comprised of over 1.5 million members and volunteers within 127 countries throughout the world and assists over 25 million Americans in need annually. And whereas Captain Josh Henson, Lieutenant Jordan Henson, Lieutenant Megan Mercier of Carrollton, Georgia, Sergeant April McCorkand of Carrollton, Georgia, excuse me if I don't pronounce that correctly, that's a tough tongue twister, and other staff members from the Columbus, Georgia branch of the Salvation Army demonstrated expertise in assisting with operating the largest evacuation shelter in the state of Georgia, housing and care for evacuees of Hurricane Irma from September 8, 2017. And whereas the Columbus branch of the Salvation Army supplied over 3,237 meals, 3,384 drinks, 2,833 snacks, and conducted 47 prayer groups to over 600 evacuees at the Columbus Civic Center, and over 57,799 meals, 81,016 drinks, and 47,830 snacks statewide to evacuees from both the state of Florida and from regions around Georgia. And whereas members of the Columbus Salvation Army assisted in operating the 13 mobile feeding kitchens 7 from Georgia, and 6 from Virginia, stationed statewide, which served up to 3,000 meals a day to the evacuees. And whereas the Salvation Army contributions are deserving of special recognition and appreciation for the hard work and dedication that their outstanding staff and volunteers provided to the public. Now, therefore, the Honorable Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, does hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017, as Salvation Army Day in the city of Columbus, Georgia.
Thank you all so much for what you do, not just during Irma, but every day. You're an integral partner of what we do in our work for the homeless and those who are housing insecure and so many other things, and we're so glad to have you here. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes, just thank you. Thank you for the community support that makes it possible for us to do things like what happened during Irma, but the support that we get throughout the year, we're grateful to this community and the support that we've received. And on behalf of my staff, when I called them to say, hey, it's time to go to work, they just said, thank you for the opportunity to serve. So we echo that. Thank you for the opportunity to serve.
Thank you so much. And sir, would you like to say anything? You're good. Okay, well, y'all come on around and let's shake your hand. Let's give them another round of applause.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Pastor, thank you so much. Here's your proclamations. Thank you. Next, we have Columbus Regional Health Day. And so if representatives from Columbus Regional are here, I'm going to ask for them to come forward. Laura Drew, and as she comes forward, I want to say, you all have the most amazing thing. I'm sure other communities have it, maybe people in this community have seen it, but they actually have a mobile clinic with 2 rooms, and it's a tractor trailer, and it's everything you need, and they brought that sucker to the Civic Center, and it was like having a little doctor's office. So anyway, thank you, and we're going to get Councilor Walker Garrett to present this proclamation. Hold on a second here. There you go.
Ms. Drew, the Columbus community was grateful for what you did, and I know the refugees were. It was amazing. It was an amazing show of support from our local hospital network. It's my pleasure to read the proclamation into the record. Whereas Columbus Regional Health is a leading provider of health care in West Georgia and serves the Columbus, Georgia area with a network of health and medical services, and whereas Columbus Regional Health, led by both staff and volunteers from the Mercer School of Medicine, selflessly donated time and expertise for the well-being of some 600 evacuees of Hurricane Irma at the Civic Center shelter and throughout our community. And whereas Columbus Regional Health oversaw the only neonatal intensive care unit, NICU, in the area at the Midtown Medical Center and cared for 7 babies who were transferred from Savannah, Georgia. And whereas Columbus Regional Health oversaw the operations of both Northside Medical Center and Midtown Medical Center's Emergency and Trauma Center, which cared for over 40 patients affected directly by Hurricane Irma. And whereas Columbus Regional Health established a mobile clinic through a partnership with the American Red Cross at the Columbus Civic Center, which treated the medical needs of over 600 evacuees. And whereas Columbus Regional Health contributed healthcare assistance to hundreds of people throughout our community and provided constant assistance for all members of the public. Now therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, does hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017, is Columbus Regional Health Day.
Laura, please say a few words.
Well, first of all, thank you for such a great recognition, and it's a pleasure to be here to represent Columbus Regional today. I'm representing many employees who work endless hours to provide health care needs to those at both of our facilities, as well as the mobile health unit, and it was a pleasure to work with all the community partners. I will tell you that the hospital was successful because of all the work that the community did to provide health care to the needs within the community. Otherwise, the emergency room would have been overwhelmed with all those who needed that care. And it was such a great partnership, and we could not have done it without the community support. And we really appreciate that on behalf of Columbus Regional. And again, thank you so much for the great honor.
Oh, you bet. You know, you hate to call out one nurse or one doctor that you saw there because it suggests you didn't see the others working so hard, but just one memory I have are those Mercer Medical students there. And I had the opportunity, as did so many counselors, to come, and I came, really early in the morning and did some things, and they were there, and then I came back late at night, and the same two were there. But of course, they're used to working 12-hour shifts like other folks in that line of business, and so it was wonderful to see them there pitching in and getting, lifetime of experience in a short period of time. So we're so fortunate to have them as part of the community, too. Well, I won't carry on, but thank you so much, and do come around and let's shake your hand.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Columbus Health Department, and we've got Dr. Beverly Townsend. Come on up. And as she makes her way, people wonder sometimes, where's my tax money go and all that. We have a great debate about it. But one thing that you never hear about is that we don't have outbreaks, God forbid, knock on wood, Ebola, Zika, and all that. Some of that's dumb luck. Some of it's because of planning and coordination. With the state health department, of course, and the counties, regions, and you don't know people are working for you on things like that, but the prevention, the coordination, finding out if people are entering or exiting your jurisdiction that may have been in contact with some of these things. These folks are working while you're just having yourself a fine day, unworried about the threat that may have come our way if we hadn't had such great people. So, Dr. Townsend, thank you for what you do every day, but particularly we want to talk about Irma today, and we've got Councilor Barnes is going to read a proclamation.
And Mayor and Council and guests, it's my pleasure to read this proclamation. It reads thusly. It says, whereas the Columbus Health Department and counties of the West Central Health District provided medical care and follow-up for hundreds of evacuees from Hurricane Irma, and whereas there were approximately 400 encounters recorded with evacuees from Hurricane Irma from Friday, September 8th to Thursday, September 14th, and whereas additional staff from the West Central Health District assisted evacuees, including emergency preparedness, environmental health, vector control, information technology, epidemiology, billing, administrative assistance, program assistants, and office managers, and whereas public health nurses from the West Central Health District served as available and qualified staff for the duration of the Columbus Civic Center Community Shelter, and whereas the Columbus Health Department contributed invaluable health care assistance to hundreds of citizens and evacuees throughout our community and provided constant assistance for all members of the public. Now, therefore, the Honorable Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, Teresa Pike Thomason, does proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017 as Columbus Health Department Day in the city of Columbus, Georgia.
All right.
Yes, good evening to everyone. This is certainly an honor for me to stand here and accept this proclamation. I appreciate the opportunity as the Commissioner of Health for Columbus, which is my role as the District Health Director for West Central Health District for 16 counties. And so our district spans a long way, so we had people to come in and be deployed to help with this great effort, as it was definitely a great effort, not only from public health, but for all the other collaborative agencies in this area, as has already been said. So I appreciate the opportunity for our community to come together and know that we can do this in spite of the obstacles, which is the hurricane, which we have no control over. But we do prepare for things like this, but on the other hand, we'll never prepare for the in-depthness and all the things that's really required. So that's why it really takes the community to come together and work collaboratively to get the work done. So I appreciate all that, and thank each of you for everything that you do for us. Well.
And I might add, when I went to volunteer my services, there were so many nurses, and they were just triaging people just so well, working a lot of long hours. that I just relegated myself to be the gopher. I went and got the food. I put my stethoscope and stuff to the side, you remember?
Yes, thank you.
Because things
so
were
much.
hot and heavy, moving quickly. And so it was just my pleasure, because y'all were working a lot of long hours, and it was just so good to see the system work. You know, and that takes a lot of preparation, a lot of training, a lot of skill. So I just commend the Public Health Department for all the fantastic work as well that was done during that particular period.
We thank you and all the other people who fed us, so we appreciate it.
Well, yeah, I did. I had to make 5 or 6 runs to get enough food. Congratulations.
Next, we have Georgia Power Day. We got Jason Cuevas here, and a whole bunch of folks, it looks like, are on the front line of this effort. So I want to ask you all to come up. I tell you, you know, when you're in a state of emergency, the first people you want to see are those with the blue lights and the sirens coming your way. And the second folks you want to see are your linemen. And so it looks like we've got a few. Of course, the third folks may be cable guy, but anyway. But we are so appreciative of you all in what you do, and so we do want to present you with this proclamation, and we have Councilor Skip Henderson to present that.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a really special honor for me. My wife has been employed with Georgia Power for a number of years, and I can't say what number because I have to go home to her tonight. But I do get to hear kind of some of the backstories and the way these guys and the whole organization kind of gets invested in helping not just the local area, but at times they travel and help other areas, and they're away from their families, and they're working 24/7 for days and sometimes weeks at a time. And we're a little spoiled. We think when we hit that switch, we ought to get the lights, and we appreciate what y'all do. So the mayor has issued this proclamation. It reads, whereas Georgia Power is the leading provider of reliable energy in Georgia and serves countless areas around the southeast region. Whereas Georgia Power and its West Region affiliate donated time, resources, and expertise to the surrounding community during a state of emergency for the safety and comfort of over 200,000 citizens during and after the effects of Hurricane Irma. And whereas Georgia Power oversaw the operations and maintenance of over 74,500 outages in the West Georgia region. And whereas Georgia Power worked around the clock to restore power to over 30% of Columbus, Georgia, and over 50% of the West region during the aftermath of Hurricane Irma within 2 days. And whereas Georgia Power oversaw the operations of both Georgia and Alabama emergency contractors throughout the region to aid in the efforts to restore power to all customers in the surrounding areas. And whereas all citizens of Columbus, Georgia are thankful and appreciative for the enormous contributions and dedication made to the public by this outstanding organization and its outstanding staff. Now, therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, the Mayor of Columbus, does hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017, is Georgia Power Day.
Well, Mayor, members of council, really, it's an honor to stand here today. On behalf of the men and women of Georgia Power and their families, it really is a team effort. We thank you for the recognition. You know that we are proud to be part of this community. We're privileged to serve this community. And we really certainly appreciate the partnership that exists between the consolidated government, the community at large, members of council, city manager, his team, and we certainly appreciate the recognition.
Yeah. Well, I hope you you see it in the eyes and the cheers of the people when they see your trucks coming. It is, like I said, it's one of the sweetest sounds in the world to hear that Georgia Power truck coming, particularly during these summer storms and things. So again, we're so appreciative, so fortunate to have you guys as part of our community. You guys do it the best. Councilor Woodson, did you? Yeah.
Jason and to Georgia Power, thank you. Thank you very much. Oakland Park gets hit very hard every year when tragedies like this happen. And my district, because it's so urban and there's so much there, and you respond so quickly. I have people calling me, hurry up and get them here. And then when you get there, the mayor is absolutely correct. I get the phone call back, they're here, they got here. And so it is very important for you to hear the good things too, what people think and feel about you. And it's true. When they see you coming, it's like an excitement, like watching the fire truck coming when you were a little kid.
Santa Claus for adults.
Yes, there you go. So I just wanted to express on behalf of my district and myself and my family and the partnership that we have, I'd like to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We appreciate you.
Will y'all come around, let us shake your hand. Let's give them another round of applause, please. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, man, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys so much. You did, hey, thank you. A plus, right there. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Fortunate to have you guys. Thank you so much. Got a few. If you need more, let us know. Thank you. All right. Next, we have the Columbus Civic Center. We want to ask John Dorman and the folks he has with him tonight, come on up. Yeah?
All of us.
Yeah. And, oh, yeah, y'all, don't be shy. Come on up. You got a few more? Okay. Let's see. We've got Councilor Mike Baker is going to present this proclamation this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Dorman, and to you and all your staff for the tremendous job you did. I'm sure you probably didn't expect when you moved here, one of the first things you'd have to do is run a shelter instead of a civic center, but you did a fantastic job during the storm. We appreciate it. It's my honor and pleasure to read the proclamation. Whereas the Columbus Civic Center served as the single largest evacuation shelter in the state of Georgia throughout Hurricane Irma's devastation from September 8th, 2017 to September 14th, 2017. And whereas the Columbus Civic Center housed over 600 evacuees from both the state of Florida and from regions around Georgia for 6 days. And whereas John Dorman, Michelle Hardnett, Richard Smiley, Charles Benjamin, and numerous other members of the Columbus Civic Center staff tirelessly maintained the operation of Georgia's largest evacuation shelter, housing and caring for evacuees of Hurricane Irma from September 8th, 2017. And whereas the Columbus Civic Center staff oversaw the coordination of over 100 volunteer and countless city employees to assist in the operations of the Columbus Civic Center and the security of evacuees sheltered there. And whereas the Columbus Civic Center took in thousands of donated items to aid in the care and comfort of said evacuees and utilized these items so efficiently that many donated goods went unused and were able to be redonated for future use to comfort other disaster survivors. And whereas all citizens of Columbus, Georgia and evacuees that sought out asylum here are encouraged to join city officials in recognizing and appreciating the enormous contributions and selfless dedication made for the public good by this organization and its outstanding staff. Now, therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, does hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017 as Columbus Civic Center Day. Thank you for your work.
Well, as Councilor Baker said, we were so fortunate, of course, to have John join our community and come and join a great team, Al and some others at the Civic Center. And when I got there that day, and he looked at me, he said, "You know, I didn't know I was signing up to run a shelter," but we appreciate it very much. John, you want to say a few words?
Yes, ma'am. Mayor, councilors, Mr. City Manager, Deputy City Manager, thank you so much for the recognition. You're right. I didn't sign up to run a shelter. I signed up to run an arena. I've been in this business for 30 years, and this is the first time I've ever had to act in this capacity. And I've said it before, I'm just a captain of a team, and without team members like Art and Al Moore and Charles Benjamin, and I can't literally name them all, but I've never been more proud to be part of a team than this one right here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Al, you want to say anything?
That's Art.
I just want to say thank you to the city manager and the deputy city manager. They afforded us the latitude to do the things that we needed to do, and political correctness went out the window when they came down and they saw the need, and Councilor Woodson and Councilor Pop Bonds, they came down and Mimi came down actually to talk about Plan B for the Latino Festival that was taking place the week after the evacuees were in the building. Mimi came down, she saw a need. We talked about the Latino Festival maybe 5 minutes. The next thing I know, she had her sleeves rolled up. She was helping unload supplies on the loading dock, and I think that just speaks to the leadership of the city, and it speaks to the willingness to get in and lend a hand where they saw it was needed. So again, thank you for this recognition today.
Thank you. Councilor Thompson? Councilor Woodson?
Well, Art, thank you for that kind words, but it was more of a teamwork. I believe in teamwork. I believe I don't consider myself as a true politician. I consider myself a grassroots person. I believe in getting my hands dirty, wearing my blue jeans and tennis shoes, and helping when it's needed. But the love and the kindness that the Civic Center staff showed the people that were visiting in our local community and the community surrounding was amazing. I remember people stopping me and telling me, these people here are really good. They take care of us, you know. I really love it here. And you heard all great things about the staff, about the Civic Center, how it was set up, how they were taken care of. I thought it was heartwarming with items that weren't being able to use. Churches were able to come, the Valley National was able to come, other organizations, and benefit from it. This was my first time too, John, seeing a shelter and going through what we went through it. And I think it was so amazing. And you guys and Parks and Rec, I can't wait till they come up. A lot of people don't know you guys practically spend the night there. You were there from the morning to the night. You took care of your family and came right back. And lots of people don't know that. But all of y'all worked very, very hard, and you're very dedicated. And even though it wasn't a party, it was a good event. John, thank you, ma'am.
All right, y'all come around.
Great job.
Next, we want to call up our friends at Paws Humane and Animal Care and Control. We have a special proclamation for them as well, and Councilor Mike Baker is going to read that proclamation.
Thank you. Bobby and Becky and Israel coming. Okay. Oh, there she is. I didn't see her over there. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. It's my pleasure to read this proclamation, and thank you for the job you do, because, like in my household, pets are members of the family, so I know the evacuees were struggling too to take care of the animals, and y'all pitched in, and thank you so much for that. So whereas it is the mission of both PAWS and Columbus Department of Animal Care and Control to enhance the lives of both animals and people as a solution-based community resource for animal welfare by providing high-volume and high-quality spay, neuter, rescue, and adoption services, and volunteer opportunities, outreach, and education. Whereas both of these organizations partner to promote the well-being of over 10,000 stray, abandoned, and surrendered animals per year. And whereas Bobby Yao, Chief Executive Officer of Paws Humane, Drell Short, Deputy Director of Columbus, Georgia Public Works Department, Contriana Pearson, Division Manager of Columbus, Georgia Animal Care and Control, along with their staff, displayed expertise in assisting and caring for animals of more than 600 evacuees of Hurricane Irma within the single largest evacuation shelter in the state of Georgia on September 8, 2017. And whereas Paws Humane assisted in caring for over 42 cats and 33 dogs from families and from other animal control agencies across the state. And whereas these two organizations collected and delivered hundreds of pounds of animal food, cat litter to evacuation shelters, and dozens of animal care crates, litter boxes, leashes, collars for evacuees and their pets. And whereas all citizens of Columbus, Georgia are grateful for the outstanding dedication and service by these organizations and their outstanding staff for the benefit of the public. Now, therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, does hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017, as Paws Humane Animal Care and Control Appreciation Day. Thank you so much for your work, guys.
Joy.
Joy, and if y'all want to say a few words.
Sure, sure. Well, we want to thank you for the recognition. We love what we do at Paws Humane. I was texting to a couple people, one of our staff members and our contact down in Florida during this session. We're taking in another 5 or 6 dogs tomorrow. We would be remiss if we didn't thank Flournoy and Calhoun Realty for donating 35,000 square feet of warehouse space for us to use. I just chased the Georgia Power people out of the room to get their card to see if they could help us with the air conditioning bill. Anyway, it's our pleasure to do this. WOW also is donating internet service to help us do this operation and adopt animals. So if anyone needs a pet, we sure have them down by Stars and Stripes on Veterans Boulevard.
Good evening, everyone. Let me just first say that what these ladies and the staff at Animal Care and Control do is not an easy job. It is probably one of the hardest jobs in the city, even though my director may not agree. In my heart, it is, because we recognize that these are family members, and sometimes you've got to make decisions or choices for your family member that doesn't always go with what you feel in your heart. But I just specifically remember during that time, Councilor Baker, you emailed me and you said, Drell, what do we need to do for the pets? And I said, well, wow, you know, we're working with Paws and we're doing what we can do. Someone called for leashes and we took every lead that we had in the building and took it down there. But it's because of people like you who just reach out and ask a simple question that we're able to get all the assistance that's needed for pets, people, or whatever is needed. And I personally want to thank you for whatever you did as far as the shout outs you did to get more stuff down there that after a while we had more than what we needed, to be honest with you, but we were able to divide it up amongst all the local rescues and help them out a little bit as well. So I thank you for that. And I do want to thank my staff because they do work hard every day to do the right things. And it's not an easy job, but we do enjoy and we love what we do. So thank you all for all of your assistance.
Hello, I'm Joy Humphreys with Paws Humane, and I grew up in Columbus, and I moved away and spent 30 years in southeast Florida. So Irma was not my first hurricane. And I just want to congratulate Columbus. I'm really, really proud to be back home, and everyone here just did an amazing job. And I want to thank you all, council members and the city administrator, and all the organizations, nonprofits, businesses, and everyone that pulled together. And although my heart is with the animals, I want to thank everyone also. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We have a great team here saving lives of man's best friends. So thank you all very much. Come around and let us shake your hand. Let's give them a warm round of applause. All right, and next we have Public Works Day. We'd like to call Pat Beegler Public Works and 311 Day. So we're going to have Pat Beegler and Tiasha Johnson come forward, and the Mayor Pro Tem is going to present this. Let's see, Tiasha.
Good evening. Good evening. Whereas it is the mission of the Columbus Public Works Department to efficiently, effectively, and equitably provide services to the citizens of Columbus, Georgia in all areas of public life, and to continuously strive to enhance the quality of life for the citizens and employees in a safe and environmentally responsible manner. And whereas it is the mission of the Columbus 311 Call Center to serve the city of Columbus, Georgia, and its citizens by providing professional assistance and necessary information to all members of the community. And whereas the Public Works Department and 311 Call Center of Columbus, Georgia, stayed active and available to the public throughout Hurricane Irma, providing assistance and critical information to the public. Whereas Tiasha Johnson, Director of the 311 Call Center, and her staff work continuously throughout the week of September 8th to answer phone calls from hundreds of concerned citizens and register complaints of trees down and flooding, so that these issues could be assessed by city services. And whereas Pat Beegler, Director of Public Works, and her staff served throughout the week of September 8th to respond to hundreds of citizens' complaints. And whereas these organizations dedicated countless hours to address the issues and concerns of each individual citizen. And whereas without the dedication of our 311 Center and Public Works Department, the daily functions and operations of the community would not be possible. And therefore, Teresa Pike Thomas, the Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, hereby proclaim Tuesday, October the 3rd, 2017, as Columbus Public Works and 311 Appreciation Day.
Right. You guys make it look so easy, just smooth going. We appreciate it. Pat, you want to say hello? And then
Yes, I would, and I'd like to say how very, very proud of my staff I am. They are consummate professionals who were there, knew what needed to be done, stayed and got it done. If you look at the jobs that Public Works does, especially in urban forestry where we're cutting down trees and dealing with those are some of the, almost all of them are in the top 10 most dangerous jobs in the country. And we managed, working night and day out in the very worst conditions, to clean up the city, do it well, and do it without any injuries. And I think that speaks to their professionalism and their ability to get the job done. I'm very proud. I can't take any credit, but I'm certainly proud of that whole crew. Thank you.
Thank you. Tiasha.
Hello to the mayor, city manager, and council. I just want to thank you for this proclamation. 311 staff, we came in the office on both days with open arms, ready to assist as much as possible. I did not hear one complaint neither of those days. And thank you all for the proclamation, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, short and sweet. Yeah.
Sabrina Donaldson, 311 CSC Coordinator.
Well, we appreciate all you do. You
Thank
come around,
you.
let us shake your hand. All right. Good job.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Thank you.
All right, moving along, we've got Columbus Engineering Day, and we want to call Donna Newman forward. Again, oh, all right, Ali, yep. And things you don't think about. That run smoothly, that we depend on, so we want to have them come forward. And Councilor Skip Henderson's going to read this one.
Thank you, Mayor. This is, it's kind of nice to be able to shine a light on some of our employees that do such a good job day in and day out, but they really come through in a crisis. And I tell you, driving around on the roads right after that storm hit, sure, we're glad y'all got those signals working fast. It's my pleasure to read the proclamation that the mayor has issued for the engineering department. It reads like this. Whereas it's the mission of the Columbus, Georgia's Department of Engineering to provide an enhanced quality of life for all citizens who live and work in the region by the delivery of an effective, safe transportation system, by providing management of our natural resources through the oversight of stormwater and drainage infrastructure, by providing data, construction, and communication support to other city departments through geographical information, construction management, and radio communications. And whereas the Division of Traffic Engineering provides services to our community for the purpose of creating and maintaining an expedient and safe means of transporting people, materials, and goods through our city, and are also responsible for maintaining all of the city's radio communication systems and components. And whereas all of these services are provided through geometric designs, pavement markings, traffic signs, traffic signals, street lighting, traffic accident analysis, and traffic ordinances. And whereas Donna Newman, Director of Columbus, Georgia's Engineering Department, and her staff worked throughout the storm effects of Hurricane Irma to ensure traffic signals were functioning properly and to reset and repair down signals and to enable safe passage of automotive vehicles. And whereas Director Newman and her staff conducted radio repairs to ensure radio communications were up and running throughout Hurricane Irma. And whereas Director Newman and her staff answered countless calls from citizens, the Citizen Service Center, and 911 call center to address issues and concerns across the city. Whereas the Engineering Department and all its staff deserve to be recognized for all their hard work in keeping Columbus, Georgia safe and operational. Now therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, the Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, does hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017 as Columbus Engineering Day.
All right. Ali?
Yes,
Good evening.
Mayor and Council, City Manager, Deputy City Manager, thank you so much for this proclamation, for the Engineering Department, for everything that Engineering Department is providing for the city. And especially I want to thank our Traffic Division. We have Mr. Steve Gray from Traffic Operation the Supervisor, and Ms. Joanna Lloyd, Traffic Operation Secretary. They worked those 2 days with the rest of the people in traffic operation to maintain all the traffic signals and everything, all the devices that is necessary for us, to travel through town and be safe. So I just, on behalf of Donna and our department, I appreciate this proclamation, and also I want to express our appreciation to our Traffic Division. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Would you like to say anything? Okay. Well, come on around. Yes.
Thank you for the proclamation. I really want to give all the credit to the people that work under me. Those were the folks that were in the bucket trucks and on top of the ladders to just make sure that all the traffic lights, stop signs, et cetera, was taken care of. And those are the people that deserve the credit.
Well, thank you, and we certainly will make sure they get it, and thank you all for what you do. Come around and let us shake your hand. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Next, we want to call up, we have Parks and Recreation and Metra Day, and so we want to call up our leaders with Metra and with Parks and Recreation. See a lot of y'all in the crowd, so please come forward. We've got Holly and Rosa as the directors here, and then they've got a lot of folks with them. And we've got Councilor Henderson as they gather. As soon as they all get up here, Councilor Henderson will present the proclamation.
Yeah, this is another great opportunity to, frankly, to thank people that we should take time to thank every day because of what y'all do for the citizens of Columbus, Georgia, but particularly in a situation where life throws us a curve. So we're proud of y'all. We appreciate what you do. This proclamation issued by the mayor reads, whereas it is the mission of the Columbus Parks and Recreation Department to enhance the quality of life for all the citizens of this community by providing passive and active recreational, educational, and cultural programming services for all age groups, and to provide parks and recreation facilities that are safe, accessible, and aesthetically pleasing to the entire community. And whereas it's the mission of the Columbus Metra to provide safe, reliable, dependable, and cost-effective transit service with a team of professional employees dedicated to their customers' needs and committed to excellence. And whereas the Parks and Recreation Department of Columbus, Georgia, was instrumental in setting up and coordinating support of the American Red Cross and other partners at the largest shelter for Hurricane Irma evacuees in Georgia, located at the Columbus Civic Center. And whereas the Parks and Recreation Department, led by Holly Browder, Director of Parks and Recreation, and Deputy Director Becky Glisson, coordinated the opening of the Frank Chester Recreational Center as a shelter to additional evacuees and oversaw the continuous operations of this facility throughout the week of September 8th. And whereas Holly Browder, Director of Parks and Recreation, Deputy Director Becky Glisson, and their staff served throughout the week of September 8th at the Columbus Civic Center shelter and also operated and maintained the Frank Chester Recreation Center as a shelter for evacuees. Whereas the Parks and Recreation staff maintained staff at both the Columbus Civic Center and the Frank Chester Recreation Center locations, provided activities such as arts and crafts, sporting competitions, and other daily events each day for evacuees and their families. And whereas Rosa Evans, the Director of Columbus's Metra, and her staff provided safe and reliable transportation to and from shelters, necessary shopping complexes, and health facilities to better assist evacuees' needs. And whereas these two organizations displayed outstanding professionalism, coordination, and expertise through their successful partnership and through their dedication to the public. Now, therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, the Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, does hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017 as Columbus Parks and Recreation and Metra Partnership Day.
Right. Rosa, Becky, you all come forward and say a few things about the great folks working with you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager, Deputy City Manager. Thank you so much for this recognition tonight. On behalf of our department, we appreciate it. We are often play a supporting role in many things, and this is one of those cases. And we were grateful for that opportunity to be able to play such a supporting role to assist all of the other agencies and organizations that have come forth tonight, because it's more than just one of us, it's all of us at that point. And we always talk about that we in Parks and Recreation, we have a great department. That's not because of me. That's because of the folks right here. And on Sunday, the weekend of the hurricane, we were told we had to open a shelter. Well, it was myself and Becky, our assistant director. We looked at one another, and there's two of us, and we're thinking, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? We made a phone call, and within 30 minutes, we had 100 people, our employees, their families, church members show up, and that's community. And that speaks volumes to what our community is, as well as our department, and I'm grateful to have such a wonderful staff to work with that I know at a moment's notice in something similar to this, we could certainly call on anyone and they will respond. So we appreciate the honor and thank you.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Mayor, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, Council, Mr. City Manager, and Deputy City Manager Lisa Goodwin. Thank you so much for this proclamation and recognizing staff at Metra. I am so proud, so very proud to be a part of a team who is willing, who are ready to step up anytime you call them, not just during an emergency situation, but anytime. And they represent so many more Metra employees who were ready and willing just only a phone call away. And so I'm so proud of them. I've told them, but I want to say that thank you publicly to each of them for everything they did during this time that we needed them. We have and if you don't mind, I just want to introduce my staff. That one of them didn't make it tonight, but we have our transit manager, Mr. Antonio Owens, and Mr. William Jenkins. He's our ADA coordinator, and Mr. Jenkins stayed on the clock. I want to say 3 days around the clock. He never came off the clock. So if he got a call at 2 o'clock in the morning, he got up, suited up, and went out to transport those customers who needed transportation to the medical center, dialysis customers. And he was just ready. He wanted to do everything, but he couldn't be in 3 places at one time. And we also have Mr. Norris Pitts. He's our lower shop supervisor who came to make sure buses were ready and we were able to roll out. And the one that didn't make it was Willie Smith. He was the daytime Sunday supervisor who came in to open up the shop for us. So I just want to say thank you to each of them. Mr. Thomas Taylor is the maintenance manager. He's in the back. And thank you so much for all of what you've done, okay? I appreciate you.
Oh, you guys are amazing. Both Parks and Rec and Metro. It's just a symbolic of all the great departments we have, but you guys were there, and it was wonderful to see you. We're so fortunate to have such great employees. I want you all to come around and, yes, hold on, we've got Councilor Woodson.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say that I didn't get a chance to make a comment for Public Works, and a lot of people don't realize that these individuals get up at all hours of the night to help, and they were very professional. Lots of people did say that the phone calls, sometimes we get the phone calls of people complaining, but then they'll call back and compliment our staff, and it's very important to know. Rosa, to you and the Metro, they're as good as their leaders are, and you are a grassroots leader, and they'll follow you and show their dedication to you and their community because they love who they represent in the community they are. And I would say thank you to them. To Holly, Becky, and Teresa. I can't say enough thank you. Holly and Becky spend the night there almost every night. I remember even offering my house. I said, if you need to go to my house, it's just down the street. You can go ahead and take a shower and rest, or your family can rest. And they were like, no, I might leave and something might go wrong. And they just were so dedicated that they stay there the whole time. I always believe, and I've learned in the military, that if you take care of your soldiers will take care of you. And that's exactly what you represent. You represent a command, a squad of individuals who knows that you will put your life first, that you will get your hands dirty. And so they follow their leader because of the respect they have for you. Without your leadership, they wouldn't be able to accomplish their mission, and you will not be able to accomplish yours. So I just want to say God bless each and every one of you standing here and all our employees who sacrificed and worried about their own families, but yet went out there to service our taxpayers. And that's a very dedication, and that's love for your community. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Very well said. Let's come on around, let us shake your hand. Let's give them a round of applause. Rosa, thank you so much. There you go. Thank you for all you do, Antonio. Thank you so much. There, thanks for all you do. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're so fortunate to have you all. Thank you. Thank you. Such a great team. Great team. Appreciate you, honey, every day. So fortunate to have y'all. I'm telling you, I'll take her. I'll take her. So good to see you and have you on the team. Thank you for all you do. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, honey. So fortunate to have you guys. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do. We're very fortunate to have you guys. Fortunate to have you. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate you so much. Always good to see you. Thank you for being there. Appreciate you. Hey, honey. Good to see you. Good to see you. And thank you for all you do. Appreciate you. Whoops, sorry about that. Hey, Tommy, always good to see you. Becky, thank you so much. Hey there. Thank you. Here you go. All right, we've got so many patient people, but I just saw that we've got some little ones still in the crowd, and I know we're knocking on some bedtimes. And so I'm gonna make a slight adjustment, and I apologize for all y'all that have been patient, but I hope you understand that when we have folks here that are in second and third grade. We need to get them on home, get some dinner. So I'm going to call forward the Columbus Muskogee County 4-H Club. If you guys will come forward, Mayor Pro Tem is going to present you with a proclamation. I'm sorry, guys, we would have gotten to you a little earlier, but you were on, until I turned the page, I just didn't recognize that you were still there. So glad to have y'all with us tonight, and we're going to turn it over to the Mayor Pro Tem.
Good evening. And I want to tell you, 4-H's, I am a past 4-H mom, so I know what 4-H is all about. Whereas the University of Georgia 4-H provides educational youth development programs for over 170,000 young people ages 9 to 19 across the state of Georgia. And whereas Georgia 4-H, a partner in public and private education, is youth and adults learning, growing, and working together to experience and accomplish the extraordinary. And whereas Georgia 4-H helps young people develop life skills in leadership, citizenship, communication, and decision-making skills. And whereas County 4-H faculty enhance public and private school curricula through delivery of experimental learning activities that meet Georgia performance standards. And whereas an ongoing longitudinal study by Tufts University has validated that 4-H participants have better grades, are more behaviorally engaged with school, and more likely to see themselves going to college than their peers who did not participate in 4-H. Whereas Georgia 4-H youth have a high school graduation rate of 92+% over the past 10 years. And whereas since 1904, Georgia 4-H has provided a world in which youth and adults learn, grow, and work together as catalysts for positive change. And whereas the mission of Columbus 4-H is to assist youth in acquiring knowledge, developing life skills, and forming attitudes that will enable them to become self-directing, productive, and contributing members of society. And whereas National 4-H Council has proclaimed October 1st through 7, 2017 as National 4-H Week, and whereas we join the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension and Columbus 4-H in recognizing the young people of Georgia and the city of Columbus as our greatest natural resource, and in acknowledging the individuals who have made local 4-H so successful, including Richard Smith for his years of service to the youth of Georgia, through the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension, and as the Georgia House of Representatives for District 134. And therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017 is Columbus Muskogee 4-H Day.
All right. Please tell us a little bit about 4-H and introduce your special folks here that are with you tonight.
Yes, of course. My name is Ashley Day. I'm the 4-H agent here. I'm going to let them all introduce themselves. But we have had a great year in 4-H. We have been to district and state competitions, and we have brought home multiple honors, and we have really started to put Muskogee 4-H on the map and stand out among the state. And I'm going to let everyone else introduce themselves.
You've got a booth outside, too.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Vincent Jones. I'm an 8th grader.
He's got his own fan club. And you're in the 8th grade, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Okay.
East Columbus.
East Columbus.
Hello, my name is Madison Jackson, and I'm in the 5th grade.
What school?
Winton Arts Academy.
My name is Carson, and I'm in 3rd grade.
All right. What school?
Winton Arts Academy.
I'm Natalie Crosby. I'm in 8th grade, and I go to the Rennie McCullough School of the Arts.
My name is Benjamin Clark, and I go to Key Elementary, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Vanna Jones, and I go to Wesley Heights, and I'm in 3rd grade.
Centauria Jones, advisor, volunteer, 4-H.
My name is Beverly Robideau. I'm a 4-H program assistant. I've been doing this for almost 15 years, and I go to Winton and River Road and to Allen, to every school that'll let me go.
Well, we're so fortunate to have you out there impacting the lives of our young people, and so thank you all for what you do, and thank
Mayor,
you guys for being in 4-H.
My youngest son, who is now 38 years old, was in 4-H from the 6th grade all the way through high school.
Do we have any family or friends of 4-Hers that are here that, in addition? I know we just have some retired teachers. We got some retired teachers we're going to get to here soon, so they're friends and supporters. But y'all come on around and let us shake your hand and get you these proclamations. Let's give them another round of applause. Excellent job. Love your hair. Excellent job. Way to go. Yeah. Love that. Hey, sorry it took so long. Hey, thank you. Thank you. You did. You coming around again?
Yeah, she wants it.
Oh, you want my hand? Yeah.
Oh, you're a big star.
Yeah, big star. All right. She's good at the Winning Arts Academy. She might take a drama class or two. All right. Thank you all for your indulgence on that. We're going to get back to our agenda, and we now have the 82nd Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Week that we're going to recognize. We've got a whole slew of folks. I know they probably dwindled as the evening's gone on and they got hungry, went home to get something to eat. But want to call y'all forward. We've got Mr. Douglas Troutman, who's the chairman. Of course, Ms. Lisa Goodwin, co-chair. Don McCarthy, executive director. Dr. Howard Willis, national president of Morehouse Alumni Association. We have Ms. Latika Miller, who's the Columbus Phoenix City Tuskegee University Alumni President, and Jimmy Habersham. We got a crowd. We're going to have a smoking hot weekend this weekend. So let's get it to the Mayor Pro Tem and have her read the proclamation.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Whereas the annual Tuskegee University Morehouse College Football Classic will be held at A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium on Saturday, October the 7th, 2017, in Columbus, Georgia, continuing a gridiron rivalry that began in 1902, with the teams playing each other 8 times in over 100 years. And whereas this classic gridiron rivalry is recognized as the matchless classic of all historical black college football classics, it has the distinction of being one of the longest-running NCAA Division II classics in the nation. Whereas the classic was first played in Columbus in 1935 at Memorial Stadium as a direct result of Mr. E.E. Farley, Dr. Thomas Brewer, Dr. Kid Terry, Coach Cleveland Abbott, and Dr. Frank Forbes' contributions, and has continued to be played here each year with the exception of 1974, when it was played in Cleve L. Abbott Alumni Stadium at Tuskegee University. And whereas in 1955, Mr. Gordon H. Kitchen, Mr. A.J. McClung, Mr. Carl Haywood formed a new classic committee, which continues to operate the classic in keeping with the vision, mission, and precepts of its legendary founders and past leadership. Whereas this is the 82nd year the Tuskegee University Morehouse College Classic will be played in A.J. McClung Memorial Stadium, named for the late Honorable A.J. McClung, a 1933 graduate of Tuskegee University and Chairman Emeritus of the Tuskegee Morehouse Tigers Football Classic, and 29 years member of the Columbus Council, who served as acting mayor of Columbus in 1973. And whereas the two teams have, throughout the years, demonstrated an on-field quality of sportsmanship and competition equal to the characteristics of college football at its best. And coaches and players of both institutions have worked extremely hard to ensure a memorable classic worthy of emulation. in which the presidents, the administrators, faculty, student bodies, alumni families, and friends have been the support system, which accompanies on-field victories with the marching bands, the Piperettes, Mahogany in Motion, cheerleaders, flag teams, and other auxiliary units at the forefront of all parades. And whereas the Tuskegee Morehouse Football Classic Committee members welcomes the following presidents: Interim President of Morehouse College, Mr. Harold L. Martin, Jr., JD Interim President, Dr. Charlotte Morris, the 9th President of Spelman College, Dr. Beverly Tatum, and recognize the Classic's Honorary Chair, City Manager, Mr. Isaiah Hughley. And whereas this Classic, like all Classics in the past, will focus on a prominent parade, a week-long schedule of events including church service, recruitment activities, media press conferences, golf tournaments, football sponsors, banquet parties, and unbelievable tailgating with thousands of fans from all over the United States and abroad. And therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, hereby proclaims Monday, October 1st through Saturday, October 7th, as the 82nd Annual Tuskegee Morehouse Football Classic Week.
And I'm going to say to all the citizens of Columbus, Georgia, in this region, if you hadn't been, you've been missing it. The parade and the tailgating, you've been missing it. So please tell us a little bit about it, and hopefully we'll all get on down there this weekend.
Good evening. My name is Douglas Troutman. I have the fortunate pleasure of being the chairman of the Classic. If you notice, the weather in the city has changed. That's because the Tigers are on the way.
That's right. That's right.
We bring in a lot of fireworks. There's a lot of excitement already building with, we started last week and particularly this week. We were very proud of the activities of the all-volunteer committee. I would like to go ahead and thank our ongoing sponsors and the new sponsors who continue to see the purpose that we have, as you mentioned, the tailgating and the parade and the activities. But at the end of the day, the purpose of this hardworking crew is to provide scholarship money to help kids get in school, stay in school, and get out of school. So with that being said, we do appreciate the continued sponsorship of the businesses of Columbus, Georgia, the new businesses who foresee our vision and want to be a part of the Classic, and we cannot do it without them. Also, I would like to personally thank what I call Mayor. The people are called vice chairs and co-chairs, but in this particular, I call Lisa my other chair. She's fondly referred to as the other chair. Vicki here is, even though this is Tuskegee and Morehouse, for those people who may not know, we have a very fondness for the ladies of Spelman College. And Vicki here is the chairperson for the Classic Team Dinner, which will be held Friday night at 7 o'clock at the Civic Center this year. Along with that, we're very privileged and very proud to be able to have as our honorary chair and banquet speaker, Mr. Isaiah Hughley.
All right.
We're very excited. The word has been, the word is getting out. We have been talking him up in terms that he's a great speaker, so don't let us down. And to back him up, I understand, Mayor, you will be introducing him on Friday evening.
I will be.
So I'm glad that Mom's birthday didn't interfere this year.
Right, I know.
But we are very excited about the upcoming events. We started off Sunday with Church Sunday. We're in the middle, as I speak, in a recruitment dinner. We have, the coaches will be in town tomorrow at noon at the museum for Media Day. Thursday, we have a social hour at the Suites. We have also this year, Fox 54 will be televising their 7 o'clock newscast from the Civic Center. First TV station in Columbus to ever do that. We're also going to be giving away a special edition T-shirt. We're giving away 250 of those at 7 o'clock at the Civic Center also. So if you're down on Victory Drive, Veterans around 7 o'clock Friday evening, beware because there's a lot of activity going on. Plus the tailgating and vending will be setting up on Friday morning at 8 o'clock. And as you know, the probably the best parade in America, next to the Macy's Day Parade, is in Columbus.
That's right.
That's taking place at 9 o'clock, starting on the Phoenix City side and coming over to Columbus, and we're getting swamped with people still registering for that. And at 2 o'clock at A.J. McClung Stadium, the Tigers, and I have to preface that, the Tigers will be battling, and it should be a great game. The weather is fabulous for it this week. The breeze is picking up, but that breeze is those Tigers are coming to town. We filling up hotels. People are coming to town shopping and not shopping. They're buying gas, so they're contributing to the economic impulse of the city. And like I said, we're excited about Friday night events, which is our crowning event, and we're really excited this year because we are three private institutions, HBCU institutions, and we're very proud this year to have an HBC alumnus being our keynote speaker, Mr. Isaiah Hughley. So thank you very much for agreeing to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys want to say? All right.
They're
said
good.
They got nothing else to add. Y'all come on around and let us shake your hands. Give them another round of applause, folks. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, we're so glad to host y'all again. Thank you so much. Look forward to it.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we're lucky we weren't getting heckled, because next we've got the Retired Educators Day. And they told me already it was unfortunate I'd put them near the end. So y'all come on up. They still said there's time to still heckle me, so they're not giving up yet.
It's too long.
It sure is. It sure is.
We just getting started.
All right. Well, while y'all come on up and assemble, we're going to turn it over to the Mayor Pro Tem, and she'll read the proclamation.
Good evening. Whereas the Governor of Georgia has proclaimed the first Sunday in November as Retired Educators Day in the state of Georgia, and whereas there are more than 82,000 retired educators in Georgia, of whom more than 20,000 are members of the Georgia Retired Educators Association, and whereas retired educators of Georgia donate thousands of hours of volunteer services and make invaluable contributions to the welfare of their respective communities across the state of Georgia. And whereas it is appropriate that a day be designated for citizens to express their appreciation for the contribution that retired educators have made and continue to make for the betterment of human lives and for our society. Whereas local churches recognize those lasting contributions made by retired educators in the community. And whereas the City of Columbus recognizes and urges all citizens to observe and honor all retired educators on Sunday, November the 5th, 2017. And therefore, Teresa Pike Thomas, Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, October the 3rd, as Retired Educators Day.
All right. And it's a good-looking bunch of folks. Yes, sir.
As you'll notice, I'm not Diane Boss. She's ill, but it gives me pleasure to represent 600 or more members of MREA in accepting this proclamation. We are educated, we are serving, and we'd like to know that we're continuing our work in the community as mentors, as volunteers, and also still some of us are supplying. But we're glad to be of service, and we are looking also to politically, anytime our community needs us, or the schools, educators, we're there championing their cause. So we thank you again for this proclamation. Thank you very much.
And you didn't give your name.
I'm James Bell, the immediate past president.
And you taught for how long?
I taught for 35 years. I went back for 5 more as part-time, so total about 40 years.
All right, all right. Let's get, if y'all would, just introduce yourselves and tell how long you taught or whatever you'd like to say. Oh, here we go.
Good afternoon, or good night.
Oh.
I told the mayor when we came in, I said, why are we so far down on the list? You know, we are old now. Well, I taught for 46 years, and I retired in 1999. I am still working as a volunteer with my church as a partner in education, and of course, I do a lot of volunteering around town. Don't think I'm dead, but I am going to retire from doing all of it, but I love it. Anytime I can do anything for anyone, don't call, I call you.
Exactly right. She is a force of nature. Next.
Juanita Booker is very difficult to follow. She keeps all of us straight. She is the dean, for sure. I'm Donna Kemp, and I taught for 39 years, or worked in Muskogee County for 39 years, and I still volunteer at Forest Road Elementary on Wednesday mornings, teaching second graders how to read.
Wow.
I'm Edith Carter. I taught for 30 years.
Vicki Hardaway. I was in education as a teacher and administrator for 36 years. And now I'm just volunteer and work out at different schools. Thank you.
My name is Jeanette Marshall. I retired in 2008 with 30.333 years.
All right.
Good evening. I'm Barbara K. Johnson. I retired after 30 years. I was a home ec teacher and retired as an elementary media specialist.
All right.
Hi, I'm Karen Harden. I retired in 2008 with 32 years. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Overstreet. I retired with 38 years.
I'm Charlie Roberts, and I'm still 31 years with the school district. And if the good Lord is willing, it'll be 26 years with the legislature as a lobbyist. So we can work it. But I'm sorry we had got the crowd, because one of the things I wanted to mention, but I can mention it to you and you'll understand it. But we have a very important election coming up in November. We elect a governor, and we're going to elect, from the looks of the people who wandered away, we're going to elect pretty much a new legislature for the state of Georgia. One of the major issues will be education. And we have got some people that I would never say are bought, but we've got some people that will be running that are representing some folks that do not have the best interest of public education. So keep your eyes open. I know they're your friends, but the bottom line to it is we've got to make sure that our children and our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will have the opportunity that we have had to have one of the finest education programs in the United States. Thank you.
And I'm Pam Crank, and I taught for 37 years.
All right.
And I'm the photographer.
Is that it? Everybody? All right, come on around. Let us shake your hand. Can't you keep Juanita in line? Sorry, I made you wait till the end. I knew it. Good to see y'all. I thought y'all were supposed to keep Juanita in line. I know, we tried. Always looking good. Good to see you. Thank y'all for your patience. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank y'all for what you do.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for all your hard work. Long time. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we will. Thank you.
All right. Hanging in there.
Next, we want to call up Gerald G.E.O. Hall. We got Gerald Hall, Felicia Hall, Terry Jefferson, and Sharonda Smith. Please come forward. We've got Counselor Henderson is going to read the proclamation. We got some shy folks. All right. Well, he's about to find out.
Well, this is going to be fun. No, well, Jerry, listen, I had a chance to read over the proclamation. Pretty daggum impressive, I'm telling you. So it's my pleasure to read the proclamation that the mayor has authored. It reads as follows. Whereas Columbus, Georgia native Gerald G.O. Hall began his career as an international producer and songwriter over 40 years ago. Whereas Gerald G.O. Hall has made contributions to the music industry and the city of Columbus by giving guidance to and mentoring citizens in the community through his passion and love for the art of music and the music industry. And whereas Gerald G.O. Hall has worked with artists such as LL Cool J, Bubba Sparks, and TLC, and whereas Gerald G.O. Hall has donated time and music industry experience to fellow members of his community and is deserving of special recognition and appreciation. And whereas Gerald G.O. Hall has served as Executive Vice President of Operations and A&R at Divine A Vision Entertainment, LLC, and has made outstanding contributions for the advancement of future musicians in our community. And whereas Gerald G.O. Hall's dedication and hard work in the music industry through his business and personal contributions have greatly benefited the city of Columbus, Georgia. Now, therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, the mayor of Columbus, Georgia, does hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017, as Gerald G.O. Hall Day.
Wow.
See, people see you when you're working, sir.
Come to the microphone.
Wow. Speechless. You know, all these years, born and raised right here. And really like to thank you guys because Columbus is an awesome place. And I never really knew it until I, got older. When I started off, it was like talent shows, WOKS, and then I got so talented, I guess. I remember Al Smith said, you can't perform anymore, but you can be the band to back up everybody, right? And so and that's what I did, for years. I was a band that backed up, all the talent in Columbus. And over the years, I just, you just do what you do, and I never knew people noticed because I'm real low key, and I didn't want to I mean, I'm a producer, that's what I do, so I'm behind the scenes, and I like it that way, kind of thing. But I really appreciate it. The recognition is overwhelming right now. But I like to think, you know, the entire city, from Parks and Recreation to, you know, the radio stations and you guys. I mean, when we look at you, kids look at us, because now I talk to kids and I teach them what I know. So Columbus, you know, just being born and raised and bred here and in the music system here, which we didn't know. We were, me and Dallas Austin, a lot of us came from here that made it. And when I made it and I got that knowledge of working with the major labels and the major recording artists, I was able to share it. You know, this like my nephew right here, and I share everything with people without, you know, you don't have to pay me to do that. I'll just do it, you know. And that's what I do. I give back, and I try my best to give back to the kids here. And I'm just so appreciative that, you know, you guys noticed it, you know. So.
Well, I'd love to know what you thought. You must have thought you were being hazed on Civics Day or something back there.
I didn't have a clue.
But introduce you said your nephew. Introduce the folks.
Terry Jefferson Jr.
Hello.
His father and I grew up together. We went to school together. And his uncle, we graduated together from Hardaway. And it's just amazing, you know. I like treat him like my family, because we're that close. But he's in the music, of course. So I really appreciate you, nephew. You got me. You got me. And Sharonda, she's here. Wow. Now her uncle was Gene Griffin. He was really a big manager in the music industry.
Wow.
And so she's got some history in the family. And once I finally met her, you know, we can definitely do business and work together and try to help some of the kids, you know. But I'm still wowed.
Well, thank you for what you do. We appreciate you giving back and reaching back to pull the next group
I
up.
really appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
Come around, let us shake your hands, give them another round of applause. Thank you so much for what you do. It's official. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you. Next, we have a new group in town that's much needed. We're going to ask Columbus Against Bullying to come forward. Lisa Jenkins and Monica Kobus. And we're going to have Counselor Walker Garrett is going to present this proclamation.
Well, Lisa, I was serving the calls on a Sunday. I was speaking to the Boy Scouts, and they asked what they could do in the community, and I told them, y'all need to do something in a project against bullying. And it's something y'all can do personally. You just got to do it in your school. So it's certainly a very worthy cause, and it's my pleasure to read this proclamation. Whereas all people deserve to be respected and treated kindly in all circumstances. And whereas a person's dignity is utmost to becoming an upstanding community citizen, and whereas when bullying happens, there is an increase in depression, lower academic achievement, undue stress, and sass of all suicide. And whereas people of all ages thrive in kind, respectful environments, and whereas we must invest in all generations by educating the community and reducing bullying incidences, teaching victims how to handle the situation, and healing relationships for the purpose of strengthening the overall health of our community. And whereas all citizens of Columbus, Georgia are encouraged to join city officials in helping to stop bullying in all circumstances, and further encourage to work together to strengthen kindness and respect for all. Now therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, does hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 3rd, as Columbus Against Bullying Day.
Thank you.
Please, Lisa, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, first, I got to say, this has been an awesome night to
I
watch
know,
everybody
hasn't it?
up here, what they have done, this city has done during the hurricane, and I'm just overgrown with emotion of what our community has done, and y'all do a fabulous job. But the people that were up here that worked, and oh, I love Columbus. I love Columbus. No bullying, stop bullying. It started out as grassroots of Anchors for Autism. That was our program for this year. Our cause we were going to take on. And I happened to meet a mother whose child was severely beaten up on a school bus. And I told her what we were doing, and we kind of partnered together and kind of came together. And then from there, I reached out to probably every one of you and many other people. And everybody like, yes, go. Let's do it. Let's do something. We have to build a culture of kindness. We have a great city. We have great schools. We have to just go back and teach parents how to be parents, children how to be nice, communities how to work together and be nice. We know a lot of things are going on in the city, but it doesn't take much to be nice. And this is the month, October is no bullying, and so we have got something almost every week planned, and if we don't, give me something, I'll put it out there. But thank you for giving us Lisa. She has joined us, and when we sat down for our committee meetings and decided what committee, Lisa says, I want friends. So she's building our friend base and taking over and doing that, and I thank you very much for loaning her to us as well. But what I want to say is the River Center is going to be doing a no bully zone production into the schools to teach them about bullying. The city, you're doing your youth advisory committee, council meeting. We're going to be here.
We're going to be in here for a talk show.
On the 23rd. So we ask everybody, please come and join us on that. We have a 15K run on October 14th with Big Dog Running and Columbus Road Runners. It's a 15K, and it's been wonderful. We've gotten 23 sponsors now for that run. So I won't stop till the deadline of 6 is my deadline for it. But I really want to say we have a Facebook page. Please join us. We've got almost 1,000 members already. Columbus wants to stop it. So again, I want to thank y'all. Thank every one of you that have supported me and everything that we've done in the community, and we will do. This will take on. It's getting its fingers growing, and I can see it growing to a really, really big item, and it's going to help us promote our community to be a kind community again. So
Thank you so much. It's always much needed. Just be kind. You know,
That's
how
it.
hard is it? Be kind. Thank you, Ms. Kovas, and Lisa. Thank you.
Lisa,
Congratulations, we've got yours. You can come right off. Lisa, if you want to wait a minute, I'll get it to you. I'll do it while we call the next one. All right, next we have Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We want to call forward Cheryl Johnson and staff of the 2017 Paint the Town Pink Committee board members. And we have Walker Garrett who's going to present that.
Ms. Johnson, I had no idea until I read this proclamation how much y'all are doing in the community, and it's very impressive. It's my pleasure to read the proclamation into the record. Whereas October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the City of Columbus, Georgia enthusiastically joins the state, regional, and national initiative to fight breast cancer on the local front with energy, devotion, and compassion. And whereas education and early detection is the key to fighting breast cancer, with an estimated 1 million cases in the United States going undetected. And whereas on October 20th, 2017, West Central Georgia Cancer Coalition will host its 8th annual 5K Pink Glow Fun Run Walk to celebrate survivorship, honor those who are currently fighting the battle, and recognize those who have lost the battle to cancer, as well as show support to their caregivers. And whereas Stephen Wilson of the Bikers Battling Cancer has partnered with WCGCC to sponsor a motorcycle ride circumnavigating the United States in approximately 20 days to X Out Cancer. And whereas other activities throughout the month include Picture Perfect Survivor Celebration, Dance the Pink Away, Pink Sunday Worship, painting the Fountain City pink by turning the fountains throughout the city pink, and displaying pink ribbons within businesses in honor of breast cancer awareness. And whereas Paint the Town Pink supports free mammograms and other diagnostic screening procedures for women and men in Columbus and surrounding counties who are not adequately insured, who earn low to moderate income, and who could not otherwise obtain this necessary screening. And whereas Paint the Town Pink proceeds will also provide funding for the Neighbors Helping Neighbors program, which is designed to assist cancer patients with their daily living expenses as they are going through treatment. Now therefore, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, does hereby proclaim October 2017 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Well, you guys are awesome, and we can't wait to hear about your schedule of events this year.
Yes, and thank you all. Thank you so much for all that you all do to help us be successful. Of course, our city manager is our fearless leader. He is the board chair, and we really appreciate all that he does for us as well. I do have our staff with me. Tanetta Holt is our regional education coordinator, as well as LaWanda Waits-Arrington, our office manager, and she helps pull the glue together. But we have several events, and I won't go into all of those, but October 7th, I know it is the Tuskegee Morehouse Day, but that is our Picture Perfect Day, and we ask survivors who will not be attending the game, or if they go after the game, to please come out and support that from 10 until 1. And then, of course, October 20th is our big Pink Glow Run. We invite you all to participate in that. And then we ask the faith-based communities to help support our cause on the third Sunday in October for breast cancer awareness, and choose the West Central Georgia Cancer Coalition as their charity of choice. We just so appreciate everything that you all do. Mr. Stephen Wilson, as of yesterday, was in South Dakota, and he said the weather is starting to get a little cold there, of course, but he has partnered with us and is doing such a tremendous job. He has his chaps, and he actually has ribbons for all cancers, and so it is during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but the money that's raised helps all cancers, and it's for our Neighbors Helping Neighbors program, and 100% of the proceeds remain right here in our community. We are truly neighbors helping neighbors. Thank you.
Mr. City Manager, do you have anything you wanted to say?
Just thank you, and thank you to the community. Want to commend Cheryl Johnson and the staff for helping to make a difference in the lives of those who are uninsured and underinsured by stepping in and just making that challenge a little bit easier for them. So thank you to you for this proclamation and for your ongoing support.
Well, thank you so much. You all come on around. Let's give them another round of applause. You guys are so great. Absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now, other folks, is that, okay. Yeah. I think, anyway, we got somebody coming. It's my sister's 50th birthday. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, next we've got a proclamation and a very special announcement. So we want to call forward those folks who are here to celebrate Purple Day. It's actually Domestic Violence Month, and so we've got a lot of organizations and folks in the community that are doing great things. So please come forward, those Tiara Senga and Hope Harbor. Okay. And we're going to have the Mayor Pro Tem, and then after this, we're going to have an announcement about the candlelight vigil. So, first, we're going to give it to the Mayor Pro Tem. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. Whereas 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have experienced severe physical violence by an intimate partner at some point in their lifetime. And whereas the problem of domestic violence is not confined to any group of people, but crosses all economic, racial, gender, educational, religious, and societal boundaries. And whereas when a family member is abused, it can have long-term damaging effects on the victim that also leaves a mark on family, friends, and the community at large. And whereas it is important to recognize the compassion and dedication of the individuals who provide services to victims of domestic violence and who work to increase public understanding of this significant problem. Whereas the City of Columbus supports victims of domestic violence and supports Hope Harbor, who continuously provides safety and support services to victims of domestic violence. Whereas all citizens of Columbus, Georgia are encouraged to join city officials in recognizing October 21st as Purple Day to increase awareness for domestic violence, support the survivors, and remember the victims. And therefore, Teresa Pike, Thomas Amir, Columbus, Georgia, hereby I proclaim October 3rd, 2017 is Purple Day.
All right. Ms. Singer, would you like to say a few words, and then we want to have Hope Harbor come forward and talk about a big event coming up and some of the things they have planned, but yes, ma'am. Or,
Oh, well, I guess I can announce that.
yes.
I'm the Community Education Coordinator at Hope Harbor, and we have a lot of events planned for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We have a big event next week. The 10th is our annual walk, and it's a visual. It will start at Countries on Broadway, and it will lead down to the Government Center where we will have a visual for the victims, remembering the victims and survivors. And October 21st, which is actually Purple Day, that will be where we have our Sweating for Safety event. So we have a few events coming up.
Right, if you would, why don't you all introduce yourselves? Ms. Davis, you want to say a few words? And
Good evening to you all. I thank you all for having us tonight and kind of filling us in. We actually, Ladies in Purple actually represent the Domestic Violence Roundtable of the Chattahoochee Judicial Circuit. We are a coordinated organization that actually hopes to bring everybody together. Police, you all as counselors, as our council, as our city leaders, police and everyone together to talk about domestic violence and to understand how it happens and to hopefully together as a community we can combat it and stop people from dying at the hands of someone who said they love them. So our goal tonight is to come to you to say we are here. October is Domestic Violence Month. We do have a lot of activities, which includes the part of the vigil that Tiara was talking about. That is next Tuesday at 6:30. And we do have the cards. We would really like for you all to come out and to be a part of that because this is where you see the impact of what domestic violence does. We will honor and remember those who have fallen and who do no longer have a voice. So we invite you to come out and join us. But more importantly, we invite you to come every second Wednesday of the month. We meet at noon in the library where we talk about this. We talk about the issues that have happened, and we look at what's happened right here in Columbus to see how we cannot allow it to happen again. Thank you for this time.
thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Laura White, and I'm the chairman of the Domestic Violence Roundtable. And again, I just wanted to say we really appreciate the support that we get. I represent survivors because I am a survivor, but we have other members of our group that represent just so many wonderful organizations throughout our city. we have one here that can speak real quick on what they do.
Oh, thank you. I'm Bobby Starr, and I represent Micah's Promise. We're fighting sex trafficking of children, and domestic violence is a very integral part of trafficking. Traffickers often use the cycle of violence to not only manipulate and bring children into trafficking, but to keep them under their control. So it's one of the reasons that we all work together, because of the impact of domestic violence and its many reach within our community. We've got to bring a stop to this. Thank you. Thank you for your support as well.
Yes, ma'am. Who's next? Addie? Somebody want to go?
I'm Agnes Shelton, and I've been before you before. I'm one of the black nurses and also a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, and I want you to know that we're working very hard in this domestic violence roundtable, particularly for the new initiative here on Micah's Promise, a restoration home for persons who have been trafficked and are being rehabilitated. So you'll hear more about this.
Good evening. I'm Flo Miller, and I'm a member of the DVR. I'm also a retired nurse and a member and vice president of the Columbus Black Nurses Association. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Josie Johnson. I am a member and a representative for Delta Sigma Theta sorority.
Wonderful. So thank you, ladies, so much for your work. It really is, you know, they've tried some things that actually are very, very productive and effective in Europe, and that is treating sex trafficking as domestic violence or violence against women, and changing the focus of the criminalization to those inflicting the violence. And they've really cut it down to almost nothing in some of these countries because of that, and getting folks who are involved in that type of cycle of life and violence the help they need instead of criminalizing them. And so I know you all are sort of bringing that new thought to that a country that's thought about it the same way for hundreds of years, frankly. And so we appreciate you pushing us forward and bringing us this information and vision that we need to get things right. Thank you for partnering, I know, with the Columbus Police Department and meeting with them. We've got some good folks in this community. We're fortunate to have you. We want to also, of course, remind everybody, as Annie was saying, Tuesday, October 10th at 6:30 p.m. in the courtyard of the Government Center on 10th Street there, just right across the street from the Springer. We're going to have a candlelight vigil in observance of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Thank you all for what you do. Let's give them a round of applause. You all come on down and shake your hand. But we're going to move that maybe to our next business meeting, though we normally don't do that, because I suspect they're not here because they have practice. It would be my guess. So we got to coordinate with them a little better. We talked to Amy in the city attorney's office, and they had spoken with them, but again, I bet there was a conflict. So we're going to see if we can't redo and get them here. Maybe at our next meeting. So we'll just redo that. Councilor Woodson, who had called for it, make sure they get the recognition they're due while they're here and they can be celebrated. And one last thing wanted to mention. When we all were last gathered together for a business meeting, we were thanking many, many folks, including our tax commissioner who worked so hard, and her staff worked so hard to get the bills out under the incredible weight of our reassessment and the appeals and all of the public discourse that has occurred in light of that. And I did receive a wonderful email from somebody who said, hey, don't forget the print shop, because you guys can make all the decisions in the world, and then we appreciate that. But when it comes time to somebody saying, get those bills out and get them out in the next 7 days, somebody's got to get that thing going. And it's a tremendous effort, and I appreciate them bringing that to our attention. And we thank all of the moving parts of the city government that let us do our business well. And in this particular endeavor and the strains of this particular year, we do want to say thank you to our print shop, doing yeoman's work, working extra hours to get the information to our citizens. With that, I believe we have finished our agenda, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, all those in favor, please state aye. All right, we'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you all.